Parents, do not add your kids to the title of your home. Parents and grandparents do this all the time, right? Because nobody wants their house tied up in probate after they're gone. But that idea is costing your kids tens of thousands of dollars, and in some cases, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Let me explain. When you add your kid to title, you're not protecting the house, okay? What you're doing is you're handing the kids or your descendants a tax bill. And this is because what it was an inheritance. But by adding your kid to title, you've turned it into what the IRS considers a gift. And when that inheritance is turned into a gift, the IRS treats that very, very differently. When you add your kid to the title of your home to protect your home, here's the calculation that the IRS runs the day that the kid sells that home. First, they look at what you originally paid for the home. In our scenario, let's say you bought a home for $150,000. And let's say at the time of your passing, that home is now worth $500,000. So the difference between what you paid and what it's worth in this scenario would be $350,000. Now, not to get too technical, but the two of you were 50-50 owners at the time of your passing, right? So when your kid sells that home, half of that gain is protected. The other half, the $175,000, is a capital gain, and your kid pays taxes on their capital gains. And in this scenario, between the IRS and the state of Arizona, that could easily be over $30,000 in taxes owed at the time of the home selling. So what do you do instead? Leave it to them as an inheritance. That's it. When your kid inherits that home, they get what you call a step up in basis. And here's what that means. The IRS stops looking at that $150,000 that the original owner paid, okay, from when they first bought the home, and instead it looks at the home and what it's worth today. The day that you pass, what is that house worth? And in this scenario, it's $500,000. And the IRS will take a look at the value of the home, and they will do what they call the step up in basis, meaning they're not going to consider the $150,000 at what you bought it. They're going to step it up to the $500,000. That becomes the new starting line for your kids. So if your child ends up selling that home when you pass, and it was worth $50,000, and they sold it for $50,000, then there's no new capital gain to tax because the IRS stepped it up in basis from the $150,000 to $500,000. So now you got the same house, same kid, same sales price, but you saved $30,000. Now look, I'm a mortgage broker, okay? Not an attorney. Double check my work as you should. Contact an estate attorney and have them put all this in writing. And hopefully you found this useful. Follow for more tips on protecting your home. And remember, life's not meant to be, it's meant to create. Too strong.